Oh, check 1, 2. Check, check. Let's see if everything fires back up here. We're going to give this just a couple of minutes to get people back. Should have started this an hour ago. Hour? Back? Get it? Hour? Back? That's a joke just for me. That's a joke that only I would think is funny. Oh, what a frickin' day. What a day, what a day, what a day. I'm sure I'll be retelling this story throughout the day, but hey, how are you, friend? I started, then I stopped with so in the middle of everything else. I texted my wife earlier, who had surgery earlier today, and said, hey, how you feeling? Let me know, whatever. I didn't hear anything, and I figured she's relaxing, and so she then FaceTime, is that what it's called? Yes, iPhone FaceTime called me about 15 seconds after I hit record. So I had to bail. That's good for the old viewership. I should write a book. I mean, I'm sure there probably is a book about like all the great things to do for streaming, and then I just do all the opposite things. Like they go, oh, you should get attract people with attractive faces. So I don't know if that's. I never know if it's Aaron or Boat, but whichever one it is, welcome to the stream. You are currently the oh, hey, Pixels. You guys are the VIPs. I think some people showed up and then duh, it's the good one. Hey, speaking of good ones, yeah, so oh boy. The snowpocalypse. Unfortunately, what has happened is we have power, so the power is good, but we lost water, and there's so many water breaks apparently from frozen pipes around town that the pressure was low, and because the pressure was so low, the water treatment plant froze. Who knew that was a thing? So we do have power, but now we don't have water. And so this is, I don't want to say day 2, because it really started yesterday at 6 p.m. So it's a little over 24 hours of no water. So the funny thing, I think for me is, well, first of all, one good thing is that my son is at college, so it's just me and Morgan. So it's not like we're having to keep 4 people going. We're only having to keep 2 people going, you know. But immediately, like, I mean, I was just going through this. I was just talking to my wife. We have about a gallon of Crystal Light in the fridge. There is about almost 2 gallons of milk. There are 2 gallons, but we've drank out of one of them, so maybe 1 3/4 gallons of milk in the refrigerator. There is a few cans. My wife bought some cans of pop from Morgan, or soda if you're in the different part of the country. Bought some cans of pop. And my wife always likes a good deal, and so I want to show you what she bought here. It just says special. It is the Brahms Special Cola. Now, most of you may or may not know that I don't really drink soda or pop. I don't drink carbonated stuff, but my mind is in this set right now like I'm about to die. Like the water's off, and that's all I could think of is like I'm gonna dehydrate and die. And so I have put in a giant trash can with a liner in it and filled it with snow, and that's snow for flushing toilets, which we haven't done yet, but I'm sure that's coming. And then I got one of those small, I thought I had one out here, but it's like a shoebox size plastic box, and I filled that with snow a couple of times and put that by the fireplace, and that's all room temperature water now, and that's going to be for the cats. So I got that set up. And then I made a third one that I filled with snow. I put a line, it's like a big, like one of those big metal tubs that you would put ice in, you know, and put cans of Cokes or something in for a party. But I put a liner in there and filled it with snow. And that's my drinking snow. So I've been drinking snow water. And so I'm only getting it. I mean, if you saw this snow, this is the lightest, fluffiest snow. Like, there's no way that you could make a snowball with this. I mean, if it's like sand, you know, it's just blowing around everywhere and stuff. And so we don't have any bottled water, but I do have about a 12-pack of beer left. So, but I do have, for my CPAP machine, I buy gallons of distilled water, and I have 2 gallons of distilled water. So I'm telling you this, I'm good for a month probably. Like, I could really go a month. And the thing is that they've plowed the street in front of my house. So you can get up and down the street, and you can get up and down the entrance into my neighborhood. The problem is that there's these huge, yeah, you know what? This is a lesson learned. And so here's the thing about the bottled water is that I had a case of bottled water out there in the movie room. And when I went out there, I found out that the kids have drank all the bottled water. So I need to buy a case of bottled water and put it somewhere else besides the movie room for times like this. So, yeah, you're absolutely right on that. So anyway, the problem is that I've got a pretty long driveway, and it blew all these snow drifts into the driveway. There's snow drifts that are even with the hood of my car, and I've tried backing out, and you know, like people go, oh, well, you know, just get out there and shovel your driveway. My driveway is probably like, I don't know, 80 to 100 feet long, and it's 3 to 4 foot deep, so I'm not shoveling that. I don't know what to tell you. But the good news is that Saturday, I think the high Saturday is 39 degrees, and I should say Fahrenheit because I know I see some Canucks have snuck in here. But I see some people from other countries other than America have snuck in here. You know, total side note, I've tried 2 or 3 times in my life to learn Celsius, and I know the tricks on how to convert things and stuff like that. And I've tried to learn on the metric system, and it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Like, I'm never going to get it. Like, I've given up. Like, there's no. Like, I don't go, oh, maybe next time I'll get it. I just quit. I'm never going to get it. And so, first of all, in regards to snowblowers, I've never seen a snowblower in real life. Like, I mean, I have 2 different friends that live in upstate New York, and they have snowblowers. Like, I've never seen a snowblower in Oklahoma ever. So when people go, oh, you use a snowblower, like, I've literally never seen one. Never seen one for sale. Never seen one at anyone, like anybody ever own one. It's just not a thing here because this doesn't happen that often. The other thing I would say is, I mean, kind of to build on that, this doesn't happen that often. And so part of that problem becomes like, you know, we had a water pipe burst in the closet a couple days ago. And it's because, like, our water pipes, you know, they say, oh, this is built, you know, to withstand colds down to whatever, 22 degrees, like 10 degrees below freezing or something. But it's not built to, you know, I mean, the other day when I looked at the phone, it was like -7, you know, Fahrenheit. And so, I mean, like, what do? You know what I mean? It's just not, well, so this pipe, I mean, this was broken on the faucet. And so, like, I mean, the faucet's on the outside of the house, and then it immediately comes into the house and then goes down. And then all of our pipes here are in the concrete foundation, you know. And so, also, there's a lot of things in this world that people on one hand will say, hey, this works, and people will say it doesn't work, and you look at the facts, and I can find reviews either way. But I looked up some of those insulated faucet covers, and the ones that are on Amazon that I found said rated down to 25 degrees, which just wouldn't have done me any good, and I mean, the thing is they're cheap enough, so it's cheap, that you can put them on there or whatever. But yeah, well, and so the problem with this snow is, I mean, like when you go out my back door, there's a step. I mean, it goes off and then it drops down. I don't know how high a step is. Let's say 4 inches, whatever, and then it keeps going. The snow is packed to that level, so there's no step off of that step. It just keeps going, and then all the stuff on top of it is that light, fluffy stuff, So, but no, the drifts are solid. I just walked out there. I was going to try, not that anybody cares about this, but I was going to try to weasel around my cars to see if I could get out, and I can't even get one of my car doors open. The snow is all the way up to the hood, or the bonnet for Pixels at Dawn. No, is the bonnet? Yeah, I think so. That's the hood. But yeah, I can't even get the door open. So again, and then and unfortunately my truck is in front of that car, so I'd have to move that car to get my truck out. So yeah, it just ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen, Yeah, my sister volunteered to have her kids come over and shovel, but I'm like, it would take them 2 days to do it, So I'm just going to wait it out till Saturday. We're fine. We stocked my wife before she left. She stocked the freezer. I mean, we could literally live for probably a month on food. You know what I mean? So, and we've got to make it till Saturday. Today's Wednesday, so we're going to be just fine. I'll just be drinking my special pop for a special boy. That's me. So, in a much less serious problem, but a problem nonetheless, I was going to stream the Mister. And if I go over here, you can see that my Mister is turned on. But the problem is, for some reason, I'm not getting any sound from the Mister. The Mister is audio out, and I've got an audio in capture card, and it seems simple enough to figure out. But the problem is that some story of my life. I got the Mister. The Mister is going to a 4-way AV HDMI switch box, and that is split. The audio of that is split to a splitter, one of which is going to the TV and the other one of which is going to this. So there's really no way to troubleshoot this without pulling 80 cables apart and doing that. So, I didn't know I wasn't getting sound out of that until about 5 minutes before the stream. But I did look at this. I had this all set up because the mist is over here to the left, and look at this. That's camera 2. I was going to go over here like this and play camera 2 and play the Mister, but too bad for you guys. There's no audio, so you're stuck with camera 1. But I thought it was still pretty fun. So let me tell you about our power. We have power, but and by the way, Boat not having internet and Boat having internet is such a slight the difference between no internet and hillbilly internet is about that much, I think. But all kidding aside, the last big winter storm we had, we bought the generator, and so I was waiting. I was like, hey, when this power goes out tonight, I'm going to be, when it goes out from the storm, I'm going to be ready. And then all the other stuff happened. The water went out, the pipe. And I was like, can I please have a power outage? That was the one thing I was ready for. And then the power did go out, which I sound happier about than I should. But I'm going to go ahead and kill audio for that. And so, unfortunately, so now they're doing rolling blackouts because rolling blackouts. Oh, I just heard I'm sure you probably heard it too. It sounded like a notification I didn't mute. Whoops. Now they're doing rolling blackouts because, which is not a thing here. Like you go, well, how do you prepare for rolling blackouts? I don't know. We never had that before. That's new. And I'd like to meet the guy that decided, and you know, I mean, I get it. I'm sure there's some limitation. I mean, they're talking about how, you know, that the need, the amount of electricity that people are drawing is higher than what they can provide. And so instead of having generators or you know, giant capacitors or whatever below, they are doing rolling blackouts to limit, you know, parts of the city an hour at a time, 1 to 2 hours at a time. But I really would like to meet the guy that decided it was, you know, that didn't, I don't know what planning ahead involves in that. And maybe it's unavoidable, but just to meet that guy and kick him in the nuts. And, you know, for literally, I mean, on the news, they're going, well, this is going to be the lowest temperature ever recorded in Oklahoma City today. Like, this literally, it's the lowest temperature we've ever had. And then for a guy to go, oh yeah, watch this, just turn people's power off, you know? And, man, I got a gas fireplace and I got the generator, so we're not hurting, you know, but, man, there are people that don't have gas fireplaces. There are people that don't have fireplaces, obviously. You know, there are people that you turn their electricity off and their house gets cold real quick. There's people on oxygen, you know, so I don't know. It all seems like a mess to me. And I'm glad that it's not my, what's the name of this game I'm looking for? There it is. Yeah, I'm just glad it's not my decision to make because I'm sure you're not going to be very popular in the world. Huh. I thought for sure this is going to be widescreen, but maybe this is... Oh, well, let's do this. Look at that. We'll just do that. What am I able to run with my generator? You'll be buying one for yourself. This is Steve Burtz. And another one for my parents. I'd like to run a fridge and a space heater. We don't have gas fireplaces. So, so basically what you got to do is you got to look at how many, is it watts? I guess it's how many watts. Yeah, how many watts things use and start doing the math, right? And so if you go look, they got all these. If you go to, we have Harbor Freight here, a couple other places like that, kind of low-end tool places. Sam's has these, and they have these little Honda. I think Honda has one. There's a couple other ones, and they say like 2,000 watt generator or this or that. Well, you got to really look at the numbers and stuff because 2,000 will be the peak number, but then it'll have like an RMS number, which is like the normal operating, and usually it's about half of what they say. So that would be about 1,000 watts or so. Now I will tell you, I looked up my electric space heater, and my electric space heater takes up about, I plugged it into the kilowatt thing that we talked about on the International Computer Club, which is coming up in March, and I hope everybody attends. I don't know that we have a date selected yet, but when we do, stay tuned for the latest news. Look at that, I go into ad mode. But it uses 1,675 watts. So, I mean, that is the thing, anything that uses heat or a motor are your biggest draws for a generator. So those little times of, those little type of generators are not going to run a heater. They're not going to run something with a motor. The other thing is something like my refrigerator. I think it says it uses 800 watts like steady, but when you turn it on, it doubles that. It's like 1,600. So my generator will handle up to 7,000 watts. My generator was over $1,000. So you gotta, pick your battles. You gotta figure out how much or how little, and they have smaller ones, they have like 3,000 and 4,000 watt generators, and those are probably in the 5 to 700 watt range. One of the things that mine has is electric start, which some of the lower end ones don't. And so, I mean, that's nice to go out there when it's, 0 degrees or whatever, it's 30 below zero, and to go out there and press a button and have that thing fire up rather than going out there and trying to pull start and doing all that. So the other thing I would, not that I'm not a huge mechanical guy. I'm not, I don't know that much, but I am a sworn believer in, you got to put they sell gas like preserve or whatever, fuel additive. And basically what it does is it's kind of like synthetic water in a way, because what happens is if you store gas for a long time, the water in the gas will evaporate and it just leaves behind this big gummy stuff. And so that's why when people have things like, you park your lawnmower and then a year later you come and it won't start, it's because all the water has evaporated out of the gas. People leave gas in it and gums up the carburetor and all that. So, but if you put that additive in and it's not expensive and it will make the gas, last, I think it says for like 3 to 5 years. And so, if you're going to get a generator, don't let it get gummed up like that, because that's the thing is, it's like when you need it, you know what I mean? Like you don't need it on a 70 degree cool spring day or something like that, so, yeah. So anyway, I was just reading up on that, but if anybody has questions about generators or anything like that, maybe we'll do a whole show about generator. Something doesn't look right about this version. I don't know if this may not be the version I normally play. Oh, how's the audio on that? It looks good, but it's always hard to judge just by looking at stuff. This is, I first saw this game at Big Ed's. Big Ed's was a local hamburger joint in Oklahoma. Am I starting? No, I didn't. Did it start me or did it? Oh, it did start me. Well, not going to win this race. I have to restart that one. So Big Ed's was a local hamburger place. There used to be one location, and then they exploded. There was half a dozen, maybe there was 10 or 12 by the time the biggest they ever got. But there was a guy that would come on TV. He was Big Ed, and he was probably like 400 or 500 pound guy. He was just this big, huge guy. And his selling point was, he made hamburgers and they made everything, but they also made those hamburgers that were like, the size of a large pizza, and it would be like this thick, and you would cut it like a cake, and you'd pull out a slice of hamburger, and that was the Big Ed, And anyway, when my parents owned their computer store, they, you know what this is? This version of this game has been modified for vertical. You see that? Hold on here. Nope, that's exactly the same. Oh well. Anyway, so my parents' computer store. My gosh, you know what I'm gonna have to do is. We'll do this. We'll turn it down in my ear, and we'll bump this one all the way back up. There we go. And so anyway, there was a Big Ed's in Yukon, and it was about 3 or 4 stores down from where my parents ran Yukon Software, the computer store. And so my sister and I would go after school. We'd ride the bus home from school, and we wouldn't ride home. The bus, after they dropped everybody off, would drop off my sister and I downtown Yukon. Yukon is 15 square miles, but in the middle of Yukon at the computer store, and then you know, that got boring after a while. And so we would walk up and down this little strip mall thing, and we would go to Big Ed's, and they had Pinbot, and they had barbed wire, but that might have been later. That was probably later, but they had a couple of pinball games, and then they always had 2 or 3 arcade games, and this is one of the ones that I remember them having. I know they had Buggy Boy or Speed Buggy. That was a game that they had, and later on they had a Neogeo, and I used to go over there and play Puzzle Bobble and Metal Slug. All right, I've never been fully convinced that picking whatever car you want here has much of a effect on the game, but whatever. Now, you gotta get a good start, and then really, you can't really watch the road. You gotta watch these arrows that pop up. Oh, look at this. Qualify. Oh. And then you get the little... Oh. I think there's a brake button, but real man wouldn't... Oh. Alright, I'll quit talking smack about not using the brakes real quick. If you need to slow down, oh boy. Is it going to make it? Cut off at 60 seconds. Oh, look at that. Look at that goal. Hey, on Jeopardy this week, one of the subjects was Yukon, and I got very excited. I thought for sure it was going to be trivia questions about Yukon, Oklahoma. And oh my gosh, what the heck is that curve? Well, that wasn't good. So you know what? Instead, oh boy, that didn't work out so well. I think you get about 2 major crashes before you can't qualify. And so far, I've had about 90 on this track. Yeah, I mean, oh boy, that's a U-turn and then a snake turn. Look at that! Look at me go. I'm also available for... oh. That didn't go well. Yeah. No, I'm not even close. Oh. And my car's on fire. Won't even go. So the thing about this game, as I would say for any good quarter muncher, is that it's all about memorization. Oh, come on. Well, I mean, for me, it's memorization. It could be some people's reflexes are faster than others, but my reflexes are very slow, like my head. And so, it's the worst when you get caught in between a little fence right there. The fact that my car is already on fire seems to be an issue. Oh, I didn't even see the arrow that time. Oh, boy. Alright, so we'll go that way, and then we'll go that way. Nope. I felt like I was doing better than last time, but somehow I got a slower time. But yeah, so this is, I mean, if you're in an arcade, you're a kid in an arcade, you would be getting rewarded by, you know, the next time you play. And sometimes you pick, oh, by the way, if you leave the cars, if you notice they're just changing, the cars aren't changing right now. They're just swapping colors back and forth, but then you can also pick different cars. And depending on when you start, there's 2 different colors for each car. That was a bad start. All right, let's see what we can do here. There. So it is better to, oh, come on, go slow through the corners a little bit than it is to get stuck in that little ping pong situation. I used to watch a lot of, not a lot, but I used to watch some rally racing, you know. And I always wondered what would be the harder job, to be the guy, you know, driving, or the guy, you know, saying, like, turn left, turn right. Because that's essentially what's going on here is that, you know, you've got the arrows. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh! Is that you got the arrows, which are, you know, basically your co-pilot saying, turn left, turn right, you know. I always like the lobby room music on this too, you know. All right. This game also has... All right, there we go. There's a good start. If you can pop that little wheelie. Oh, come on. Not right off the bat. So the arrows are all, you know, it could be 90 degrees or it could be a U-turn like that or 45 degree. That's pretty much the thing. So you gotta, shoot, fire. You gotta watch the arrows. Take out cones, that's fun. Yeah, I'm not gonna finish this one. And, oh, maybe? Nah, I don't know. Oh, I could have made it, and then that guy bumped me. Did you see that? From Peking to Paris. Oh, I never saw that. Yeah, that'd be a fun. You know, I used to watch. Oh, you guys will know the name of it. I can't think of the name of it. The Top Gear, you know, and man, I used to watch it a lot. You know, well, not a lot, but because the thing was, I don't think I got whatever channel it was, so I would always download like a season at a time or whatever. Oh God, I'm just in a crash up derby. Hey, that gives me an idea for for tonight's slideshow pictures that we'll be doing later. You guys have to let me know. I don't know if the slideshow picture. I was going to call it a gimmick, but I mean, I guess if you enjoy doing it, it ain't a gimmick, you know. But I don't know if people are enjoying that as much as I enjoy doing it. But oh my gosh. I like it goes record. It's like, this is the best you've done so far, Billy. God, that guy, man. If he didn't ram you. Oh, look at that. There is a version of this, and I don't know what it's called, but there is a Neogeo equivalent of this. I think it's Dirt something, or Dirt Rally, or Rally Dirt. I don't know. Somebody look that up, and we'll try it here in a minute. And it's slightly different. I mean, I think it's different, you know, cars, but oh, there's a good start. God, look at me. Pardon me. What a Grey Poupon. I think that's probably a reference most people don't know at this point. I'm sure if you went to my kids and were like, if they had any Grey Poupon, they'd be like, Poupon? What are you pooping on, Dad? They would just think it's one of my weird dad jokes. Neo Drift Out. Thank you, sir. We'll try that here. Oh, golly. Muck this one up pretty good. Oh, well, I'm going to have to give this another try. $63 seconds. I'm going to shave 3 seconds off that time. Let's go pick up. You know what? I like this old-timey car. I like this. I'm ready for a jaunt, if you do say. Yes, I do my bad British. You know, all my British accents just come from. All right, let's try to dodge cars a little bit. There we go. I do. I mean, my first British accent. I mean, would have come from Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins, I've showed up in the car. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. That's just me, the crazy guy in a car, just smashing into people, driving at a race. I don't know, what was he doing? Man, he came up, he rear-ended me, and he was screaming Chim Chimney like a madman. Oh, my car's all busted up now. Come on. Look at this. Move. I'm merging. Woohoo! All right, well, we'll do a slideshow, and I've got an idea for a slideshow that will go with our racing theme of the evening. All right, so let's get the RPMs, and I'll tell you where I usually die out on this game. Oh, God, I didn't even see what that was. That looked like a pretzel. Oh, my Lord. You see that? Who would build a road like that? What kind of jerk does that? I mean, I'm spinning most of this race on 2 wheels. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is gonna be bad. Oh no, a spin out. He's passing him on the left. Transfusion. Transfusion. Oh, the slow poke. Animal, pass him on the right. Oh no. I mean, if there's danger ahead, it's me on the road. Oh no! I dorked it up right there at the end. Look at that. I could have done it. Could have been a contender. Well, oh no, my car. Now I'm just like a murderous rampage. Get out of the way. Oh no. Yeah, you know, the original one that I played was had a joystick, you know. All right, let's go check out and see if this is in. Oh, now this is an aspect ratio I like. Let's get this bad boy set up. There we go. This is Neo Drift Out for the Neogeo. Let's see what this sounds like when it comes on. I want to hear that sound. Just like a ray of sunshine. I loved having a Neogeo cabinet. Let's get that back down to a reasonable level. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, that's not bad. I had a single slot and I had a 4 slot. I think mine was a single slot and then a 4 slot. But the thing was, the single slot had a 25-inch monitor, and the 4 slot had a 19-inch monitor. And so I took all the best parts and made one Mamma Jamma Neogeo cabinet. And then I put everything in the other cabinet and sold it as it was. And a guy restored it, and it looked beautiful. He sent me pictures, and I was so jealous. I really wish he would have restored mine, because his looks so much better than mine. But Neogeo, man, that was first of all, that is a money sink. You know, people enjoy collecting what they enjoy collecting, but you know, I wasn't a collector. I was just buying Neogeo stuff. So yeah, they all use those big cartridges, and the thing is that like I remember getting a Metal Slug or Metal Slug 2. And I mean, loose cartridges you could get for $20 or $30 on eBay at the time. I don't know what they are now. I'm sure they're higher. But then I started seeing these bootlegs ones, and it would be like, hey, here's every Metal Slug game. And you're like, okay, that's fine. And you know, people, yeah, I think I had I want to say 60 in one, but I could be getting stuff confused. I remember it was yellow. Like all my other cartridges were black, you know, and it was yellow. Yeah, there was a card system. Not all Neo Geos had it. I don't think neither of mine had it actually, but there was some sort of card system that you could use, you know. But yeah, I enjoyed Neo Geo, and of course, oh, I like this. That's right. That's left. That's accelerator and brake. Boo! Brakes are for wimps. Yeah, so I never met anybody that had I guess I should have put my name in there for the stream, but who cares? Now we got to go see if they have. Let's see if it'll let me pick. What is this here? There's a Celica. This is the car I owned. Well, I didn't own I owned a hatchback. I owned a 2013 Subaru WRX STI hatchback. that car drove like a bat out of hell. And I have owned lots of... Oh, this thing is like driving on ice compared to the other game. Wow, look at these turns. Shouldn't really get an award for that driving, but yeah, man, AES, like those guys that collect that stuff, that's money, you know. All right, let's see. Now I'm on pavement. Maybe this will be a little. That sounds just like my car. That little backfire. Nope, it's like driving on ice. I guess you got to turn a little sooner. I'm gonna try that. Is this called drift out? Because that is, I forgot what it was called, but oh, but I need to not read chat while I'm driving. That's not gonna give me a job at Uber. I gotta get your Quiznos to you. Checkpoint. Now let's try that. And it's literally just like driving on ice compared to the other game. I mean, the other game, you just whip the controls around and make those hairpin curves. But man, this thing, it's almost like they want you to use brakes. It's ridiculous. Look at this. I mean, I'm not that bad of a driver. Golly. Can I get some knobby tires on this thing? I mean, this is time over. All right, let's try that. I'm going to try that again. That was not a good showing. All right. There was some other game like that Grand. I mean, that's the 1,000 miles, whatever. I can never get the name right. I just look for 1,000. But all right, let's try this again. All right. I do like, of course, this is a you know, change in the technology, but the fact that it kind of zooms in and out based on how much I'm accelerating. It's kind of a neat thing. Boy, I mean, it's like driving right now in the winter. Oh. I'm not gonna make it. Well, it's so quick. Hey, that was a left a second ago. Golly. All right, I tried to brake. Whatever, my car fell apart. All right, I gotta try it one more time. Is it possible that I don't have tires? That I'm just driving on the rims? That's what it feels like. You know, the worst thing about Neogeo, I don't want to say worst thing, but oh, I cut that one a little early. Oh, I said right, and I didn't do it. What are all those stupid, like, I forget what all the, but there's like just a ton of generic fighting games that have like the super huge sprites and stuff, and I just don't like those games. I don't like any of them. Bouts of Rage or Streets of Punching or whatever. I mean, they just weren't that interesting, and those were, I'm gonna die again. What? I braked. I'm broke. Oh, I made it to the checkpoint. Did I? Time over. Oh, it let me. You're retired, it said. The Neogeo is runs great on the Mister. There's a I don't know why I just, is that the, What did that sound like? It sounded like the exact. Oh, this is Neogeo. It sounded like the exact same thing from the sound in Shinobi bonus stage. All right. There was a format that it was looking for, and I can't remember what it was. It wasn't. Maybe it was. I think it was .neo actually. And none of my old ROMs. I mean, I've got some old ROM sets. You know, and none of my ROM sets were in that format. I cut it too early. But I found a like a command line utility, or maybe it was I don't remember. It was a small Windows utility or something. But it converted all my ROMs to that other format, and now they work great. So all the only problem with it is, and this is a very minor complaint, is that it converted all my arcade ROMs, which are MVS, and the console AES ROMs, and it put them all into .neo format. I think, look at that. I was a second and a half over. I'm getting there. See, I know Aaron likes the generic fighting games, but and those cartridges were like $10 when I was buying them, you know, and so what's that one? Blazing Lasers. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed I think Aero Fighters. I don't remember which one it was. I think Aero Fighters 1. I might get this wrong, but I think this is right. That Aero Fighters 1 is a actual JAMA board, and 2 and 3 were MVS cartridges. And I actually had the JAMA one, and it came with a really awesome. Come on. And he says right, but I never see that one. Man. I'm going to try a different car in a minute. Let's just see if maybe they all handle like ice. But I mean, literally, it's just possible to control this thing. Left. Well, there's the countdown. We ain't going to make it, Wilbur. I've never driven it. I mean, I've driven and I delivered pizza and ice, and it wasn't this bad. Let's see, if I continue, can I just pick another car? Yeah, alright, let's try something else. What do we got here? A Lancer, and a Celica, and the Impreza. Let's try a Mitsubishi and see what they got in store for us here. Yeah, Blazing Lasers. And then, you know, my buddy Steel Rat, Jeff, was always really good at those shoot 'em ups, especially vertical. No, this car, well, it handles a little better so far. Yeah, it actually does handle a little better. And so a couple of the arcade games that I bought, I really bought with him in mind, you know. Wow, I actually saw another car for a second. See, I never saw another car. Oh. I'm about to see a tow truck, but... Look at that, dang it. But that car handled so much better, did you notice that? Like it kind of went the direction I was pointing and stuff. I think I could do this. That sounds like welcome to bonus stage. Man, I hate when I got something in my eye. I got something in my eye. I literally need just like one less wipeout and I could do it. which is also what I told my driving instructor in high school. If I just had one less crash, we would have nailed this sucker, dude. Get out. This is a true story. Before I turned 16, my father bought me a '79 Mustang. Now this was the first year of the, I think they call it the Fox body style. I don't know, but it's the, I mean, it looked like, you know, all the Mustangs in the 80s and stuff. It was a hatchback, and of course it had a 302 V8 5.0, just like Vanilla Ice rolled in. And so that's kind of when I learned to drive. I mean, I drove my parents' cars and stuff, but that was one of my first cars. Was the well, that was my first car when I was 16. But the thing was that my dad did not think taking the driving test in that car was a good idea. He said, you know, the thing is, they're going to see a kid pull up in a V8 Mustang, and they're going to be real hard on you, and that you know you shouldn't really shouldn't take your driver's test in that car. And so my grandma had a station wagon Ford Escort, the 4-cylinder, and so she met us at the driving or at Troop A, which is where I took my driving test, Highway Patrol Troop A, and she met us there, and I took my driving test in her car, the Ford Escort station wagon. Of course, the interior, I mean, like the controls for the wipers and the blinkers and all that were basically the same as the Mustang, you know? I mean, same location. Man. Floor it. 3, 2, 1. Then I go there and I'm like, I made it. Then they go, you wrecked $18 million worth of cars, you jerk. Oh, and good. Now we're back on the ice. The dirty, dirty ice. All right, let's see how this handles here. Oh, it's not as bad. I think it must have just been that car. Oh. I watched a episode of... I should finish the other story first. And so I took my driver's test in my grandma's station wagon, and got a perfect score. Did super good on my driving test. And when it was time to leave... Oh, what was that all about? You know, after I got my license... Oh... No! Why'd you do that, dum-dum? Man, just so squirrely. Does anybody know of any other types, this style of game, this big top-down graphic racing game, and I would try one? Oh boy, 0. I'm a dead. Not too bad, though. Am I able to tell the difference on Neogeo and Mister and a Raspberry Pi? Yes. Now, if you ask me on MAME on a PC, it would be closer. But I think, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, the thing about the Mist... and you know what? What we'll do is I'm going to show you some pictures here in a minute. Let's try this track one last time, and then we'll have a little story time, and then I'll show you the Mist, even though we don't have any sound on it right now. But it'd be fun to just kind of walk through a couple things real quick. But the thing about the Mist, or the Mister, what I do like about it is it's very easy to get set up, and once you do, it's so easy to do stuff, you know, and it seems like with the Raspberry Pi, I was constantly like remapping buttons, and I don't know, just do it. Oh my gosh, did you see that? That's ridiculous. Who builds a road like that? Too early. Wasn't going fast enough to slide around that one. No, didn't make it. All right, let's tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna move this window over here. We're gonna move this temporarily. Let's go here until I can find what I'm looking for. Me and you two, right? Of course, they still haven't found what they're looking for. Hey, you know what? While we're doing this, someone on the Discord channel posted a link to a bunch of Amiga mod files. Let's put this on shuffle tracks. And so while... Oh my! Let's get that down a little bit. Get some music here while I'm looking for my pictures here. But the thing about the Pi, man, you know, you just have to know, even if you don't want to, you end up having to know so much Linux, you know what I mean? That and not that a lot of it's not hard, you know, but it's just constantly messing around with stuff under the engine. And you know, I think Aaron and I have had this conversation before. But after a while, man, I don't want to mess with that. I just want to play the games, you know? And that it takes a little while to get out of your system. So we played Grand 1000 Miles Rally, and we played Neo Drift Out, but let me show you what real racing is like here in Oklahoma. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the El Reno lawnmower races. So, in the there's the Transformers car. So there are multiple classes. So let me backtrack this up. Every year, okay, I'm trying to figure out where to start this story. All right, bear with me for 2 minutes. During the Dust Bowl, all right, so immediately I just went back to, I mean, we dropped back at least 100 years. It was so bad in Oklahoma, things couldn't grow. I'll tell you this really quick. And so, as you know, probably from history class. Oh, hold on. You wanted to give a pie to someone as a gift, but I decided just to give them some minis instead. Didn't want to have to support it. Yeah, I get it. I mean, you got to figure out, are you a tinkerer person? I mean, I think the pie stuff is in the tinkerer range. Not dogging it. Got one sitting right here. Got another one sitting over here. I got a drawer of them. I love Raspberry Pis. I love them. Do all kinds of projects and play games and stuff on them. But they're also kind of a tinker kind of thing, you know. So anyway, during the Dust Bowl, people are, you know, obviously going to California. They're passing through, and nothing could grow here. And when you can't grow things, you can't support cattle. And so, you know, they had beef shortages here as well. And so this guy in El Reno, and El Reno is a town that is 20 minutes west of me, that's located right on Route 66. This guy in El Reno came up with an idea. He took onions and sliced them all up real thin, shoestring onions, and mixed them in with the meat, like 50-50 or whatever, and made the patties out of that. And that stretched the beef to make it go further, right? And those became known as onion burgers. So onion burgers were invented in Oklahoma, and they were invented 20 miles away from me in El Reno, Oklahoma. And every year they have a onion burger festival. So You go to the Onion Burger Festival, and of course there are restaurants that just sell onion burgers. Like onion burgers are a thing here. You could go to an onion burger place, Sid's Diner, and all these places. In fact, there was a whole episode of Man versus Food, and there's another one of diners, drive-ins, or whatever. But when people come to Oklahoma, that is a unique thing about Oklahoma is onion burgers. And so anyway, so when you go to the Onion Burger Festival, they have a car show, and they have, all the stuff that you would have at a festival in a town. This song is annoying. I'm skipping this song. Thank you. And so, but they also make an onion burger that is, in the center of town square. I mean, this onion burger is on a grill that's probably, I don't know, 15 foot by 15, maybe 10 foot by 10 foot. It's a gigantic hamburger. And then you could get it for free, you know, because it's the Onion Burger Festival. The thing is, the line to get a free onion burger usually is like an hour wait, but you can just go to an onion burger place and buy one for $5, and the line is not an hour wait. So usually we just end up buying one. So anyway, so one year we went to the Onion Burger Festival, and there were all these racing lawnmowers, and I was like, what is this? And I started talking to them, and they go, oh yeah, man, there's a whole league for lawnmower racing in El Reno. I was like, I have never heard of this. And the guy said, you got to come out. So we did. And so that is what these pictures are from, is from El Reno lawnmower races. I know that's a long way to get to the story. This is, so the thing is, I don't know that much about racing lawnmowers, but what I do know is that there are, first of all, I know that it's a very redneck thing. Like, this is not a thing that you put on your tweed suit and go to. There are lots of dudes in overalls. There are lots of guys in Harley shirts, lots of big beards. This is like, and you know what? Not a lot of ladies, it turns out. It's kind of a dude sport, apparently. But I'm sure everybody's welcome, but that just seemed to be who we saw. And you could go sit in the stands, and they had concessions and stuff, or you could pull up right outside the chain link fence and just park your car. And that's what we did. We backed my truck right up to the fence and watched the races. So there were different classes of lawnmowers. There was like highly modified and then not so modified. I mean, they're still modified. Some of them do like 40, 50 miles an hour. Like they're crazy, but they have to have, of course they have limitations and stuff. And again, I don't know all the technical details, but let's look and see. Some of these are going to be hard to see just because, like these are modified, because they almost look like go-karts, but they have to have lawnmower engines, in them. And what we learned, I've been twice, and what I learned is don't sit at the end of the corner because they come around and just spray dirt in everyone's faces, So these don't really, it doesn't look like what you would think a lawnmower, would look like. But there's my wife and kids sitting in the back of the truck. Look how excited they are to be at the lawnmower races. And by excited, I mean not very. There's some dudes working on thing there. I don't know why this lady's out on the track with her baby. It's been a long time ago. I don't remember. It doesn't seem like a good idea. There's some other, just kind of going through these because I really don't have much to say other than the fact that, it was fun to go to. And they had, what I'm kind of looking for is they had some that actually look like, like these. Like these are actually, of course they're modified. They're lowered, and I just went back. Lowered and a little bit, but, these are basically riding lawnmowers. If you look at these were a lot more fun, I thought, and these things get pretty fast too. But, that's some fun times, man. And of course, all these things were just sliding around. Look at that. Oh, that's either like a gas guy that brings you gas, or that's the guy that flips people back over. I've been my whole life. Embarrassed is not the right word about being from Oklahoma, but I'm always conscious about you know, portraying things the way they are, because there are certain aspects that are a little rednecky. You're looking at a lawnmower painted like the American flag and a guy's driving. So obviously there are some goofy things in Oklahoma, but Oklahoma has huge tech sector. Of course, there's a lot of money in oil and stuff down, you know, like downtown Oklahoma City. We have, you know, big Air Force base. We have, of course, the second largest FAA facility is in Oklahoma, which is where I work. So there's, you know, there are a lot of things in Oklahoma that if you were downtown, you know, it would look like downtown in any other major city, you know. But while we're here, let's see if I can find something real quick. Now the problem with the onion burger pictures is that I mean, I'm looking and there's just hundreds of pictures of cars, because that's the big thing that we do is go to the car show, and not a lot of pictures of you know, anything that you would recognize as being a you know, the onion burger. But I was trying to find if I could find a picture of the onion burger real quick from the Onion Burger Day. No, just a million pictures of cars. Nothing. Compared to West Virginia, we're very. No, there's cool things in West Virginia. There's cool things all over, but you know, what's really bad is these areas, you know, that get left behind due to the poverty and stuff. If they don't get the technical stuff, the infrastructure, you know, I mean, like, I know you have internet issues and stuff, and you know, I saw that you said that they're getting fiber, and that's great. But you know, it really does. I'm trying to look and see here. Jump into this real quick. You know, what's bad for is for the kids. You know, they get behind on technology and stuff, you know, and that's what I worry about. Okay. Look at Mason with that red hair. I do not remember him coloring his hair red. This must have been something there. This is Morgan, my daughter, who's 15 now, but this is her Onion Burger Day hat. She used to wear the Onion Burger Day. And I'm sure she is not eating an onion burger. I don't know. She looks like she's eating a Frito chili pie. And you know what? God love kids. I remember I took, you know, when we went to our Alaskan cruise, we went to a part of the cruise. We did an excursion where they took us to a private island. We went to this private island, and as we're getting off this little ship thing, this little boat, there's a guy with this huge net that is pulling salmon out of the ocean. I mean, it could not possibly be fresher, you know. And they had a grill set up that was like 20 feet long, and they're pulling the fish out, cutting them, and grilling the salmon right there. And the thing, this was like a lunch excursion, and so we went into a cabin thing, and it was like a big dining hall. And you know, the guy outside, I mean, literally, you just saw your lunch being pulled from the ocean, prepared, cooked. And Mason leaned over to me and said, "Do they have corn dogs?" I'm like, "Buddy, I know that you know, you're not a huge fan, but you know, this is like, you're never gonna have better fish than right now. They're pulling it out of the ocean." This is a magician guy that's doing stuff, but it looks like at some point, I don't remember if my daughter went up there or not. Yeah, this is all just cars after this. Well, I don't seem to have any pictures of no pictures of the onion burger. That's too bad, because they do make a giant onion burger. So, well, let's not drag this out. I'm going to move over to the Mister real quick. So I've got to move a couple of windows around. Oh, don't drag that window over there. Hang on now. That sent us to the Twilight Zone. Let's go to full screen here, to wide. Let's pull up the mister. There we go. And then let me move the chat over here where I can see it. All right, we've got chat set up. And so now, as Mike Myers said, camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. So if I move the mic just a little bit, hopefully this sounds okay. So this is, all right, yeah, this is gonna work. This is kind of a dry run. Let's reboot the mister here. I'm just gonna leave the music going since I can't seem to get any audio out of it. Oh, do I have the music going over here? Yeah, okay. Let me... There we go. So when you boot up the mister, you will come to this screen, which has a list of all your cores. And there's arcade cores. These are all sorted out for you. Your computer, your console, other, and then utilities. And then one of... if you hit F12, so your menu thing is under F12, it will get you to some separate features here. I'm going to run one in just a second. This one gives my IP address, and so I can FTP stuff to and from the mister. And then this has a scripts folder, and these are all scripts that come with it or have been added, where you can like turn services on and off. Like these are the sub level, you know. Turn on FTP, which is what I did. You can link it up to your G drive or things like that. But there's one on here called update. Well, there's update comes with it, and then update all is an addition. So if I'm going to run update all, this is a script that the developers or somebody has provided. And when we run it, it goes out and checks all the official repositories for Mr. Oh, it's waiting for a key to start here. Down. There we go. And so this will go check all the repositories and update things. Now, this is something that the original Mist did not have. And this was terribly frustrating because think about this. Like, you know the frustration that comes with you fire up your PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, you load a game, and then it's like, oh, you need this giant update or whatever. Well, that happened, I mean, with the original Mist, there was, it's hard to explain, but the Mist itself has a BIOS, and then all these cores have a different version. And so you could fire up your Mist and go online, and somebody would say, oh, there's a new Mist BIOS. So you would get that and flash the BIOS, but then it wouldn't match up with the core, and so they wouldn't work, and you would load a core, and it would say, oh, I need it to be updated. You would update it, but it wouldn't work with your BIOS. It was this constant battle of updating things and manually. Like the Mist itself didn't do any of that. You had to go online, and you had all these SD cards and stuff. I have a fake Lego brick. It was full of SD cards that were all for the Mist. You know, it was this constant battle of updating things or whatever. So by building this in, as you can see, every now and then when you load up your Mist or whatever, it will just go through and find all these cores. And as people, like someone just added a Qbert core. I'll show it to you here in a minute. Last week, I didn't hear about it, but this script just picked it up and it popped up when I did my update and it said new arcade core Qbert. And so they're constantly adding, you know, or updating cores. I talked about this on You Don't Know Flack. I would say that the point, I guess, or the objective of the Mister, and oh, look at all that. Let's see. Oh, so those are alternative ROMs, alternative versions. Street Fighter. Let's says it's checking other systems right now. Now, guess what? I did download. There is a 486 emulator, and I downloaded the top 300 games. So, is it better than Exodus? I don't know. The problem is the top 300 games took up about 60 gig, and I have a 256 gig SD card. So all your storage, all my storage is on SD card or a micro SD. You can hook up a USB hard drive or something if you want. Let's see. I could have updated this before, but it's just kind of, I thought you guys might want to see it. It's kind of interesting to run through a Mr. Update. So you don't have to do this every time. You don't have to do this ever, really. But it's just when you do it, you get all sorts of new games. And again, all those arcade cores just pop in automatically. And I think these lights shining into my face is just kind of washing everything out. I'm going to turn these lights off here real quick. Or at least turn them way down. I'm liking this music. Ooh, alright, well that's a little dramatic. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to go to the white light, but we're just going to cut the brightness way down. That helps a little bit. Okay, so update all is finished running. Oops. The problem is I've moved the mouse. I'm just going to reset here real quick. Now there are 3 physical buttons on the Mister. I very rarely use them. I mostly just use the F12 on the USB keyboard. I've hooked up a USB keyboard and mouse. So I'll just show you. So the arcade, that script, it downloads all these ROMs, but it also organizes them for you. So like here's an organizer. These are just shortcuts. You're not getting duplicates of things. So this is, and I could be doing all this with the joystick. And just so you can see, I'm doing it with a PS3 controller, USB hooked up. Again, unfortunately, I don't have sound working right now. I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting on that real quick. Well, I said real quick. It ain't going to be real quick. But this is the Qbert. And so, you know, a lot of these older type games, I mean, again, the goal of the project is to make these cycle perfect emulation, or not emulation, simulation of the original. So now if I hit, I think I've got, coin up map to that, and that's to that. So of course it's not really Qbert unless you can hear, Qbert making his little comments. See if I can get Coily to drop off there. So, I mean, everybody's seen Qbert. You guys all know what Qbert looks like. Three, two, boop-a-doo-boo. Now, all right. So now let me go into the settings here. We have this is all things that are built into this specific core. We've got aspect ratio, orientation. Now this is cool. This is your scan doubler. So if you want to add, I don't know if that comes through all right, but if you can see, depending on how many scan lines you want to add, it looks a little different on OBS versus what I see on the TV, but get this back to, I kind of like it like that. Vertical flip, this is test mode. So these are all, your settings that would be in the arcade. Now on the second page of settings, and these are, I would say, mostly standard. You'll see this. There's some audio filter things you can do. You can redefine the keys for your keyboard. And then here, you could just pick another core if you want to, or you could reboot the whole thing. So I'll just hit reboot. That just wipes that core out and goes back to this main screen. So again, under arcade, what was it that it said unofficial? Yeah, there's just some different ones that it's added here. Unofficial releases. Under computers, of course, this is all your computers, and I talked about this on the podcast. I mean, there's a lot of, like, I don't know. There are probably some people that would like to play around with the Altair, machine, and this is an easy way to do it without having to learn an emulator and do all this other stuff. But there's a lot of these cores that seem pretty obscure, and a lot of them are ones that existed on the Mist that were just ported over to the Mister. Now, I have spent a lot of time recently on the Apple II core. If you're familiar with how an Apple II works, when you power it up, it boots up to the menu here, and then once you put a disk in, we can go in here to mount disk. Go in here and let's find a disk image here real quick. Adventures of Buckaroo Bonsai. I've never played this game, but there you go. Thanks, Armada. Flip disk. So to flip disk, we just got to go in here. We're going to mount the second side, hit return. Now, I think, is it Nox Archaic? Is that the new adventure? If you get the floppy disk version, you have to put 2 disks in. You have to put a disk in drive A and a disk in drive B. If you notice on this port of the emulator, it only has 1 drive. And so that is a limitation of this particular core. And to get these cores updated, you got to find whoever knows how to modify these cores, which ain't me. You got to go find somebody and then beg them and see if they're interested in doing it. So it's really, a lot of them, I think people like to mark it off their list, and they go, hey, look, I got this one working, but then there's features that don't really work, This is a great movie. I don't know how well the game is, but I've still got this on here, but oh, good. It's a good old text adventure. But, we should do a stream some night where we play some of these and we get everybody to pitch in and try to get the answers, Buckaroo Bonsai. We're obviously not going to play this. Oh. Open door. Look at that. It's amazing. Hey, Dave, no problem. We're looking into the Mist right now. We're kind of wrapping stuff up, but I was just showing off. Now, if you go to cold restart, this is like rebooting your Apple itself. So now you've just rebooted the Apple. But if you go over to, yes, this is a Scott Adams game. So you can reboot this to go back to that main menu, or you can actually leap from core to core to core if you want to. So yeah, here's all your computers. Now I just got this set up. Now this is interesting the way that they've got this working. What they did was they took that top 300 pack from Exodus, and they built. If you watch this, it boots off of a floppy disk image. Well, it's supposed to. Let's take a look here. Let's troubleshoot this. What did I do? Oh, I just reset it. I hit the wrong button here. Hang on. What happened here? What have I done? Alright. Okay. I don't seem to have my floppy disk image. Oh, I've got my IDE images here. Let's see if I could get this working. I don't know, it worked last time. Then of course, that's the other thing. You're kind of at the mercy if they break something or whatever. Then you know, it's not always you. Sometimes it's them. Yeah, no kidding. Let's have a party at Dave's house. Let's see. Commodore 16, Commodore 64, MSX, and I don't have ROMs for too many of these yet. Console, of course. Here's all your consoles. We'll fire one up here in a second. Oh, you know what we'll do? Let's fire up Neogeo. We just talked about that. Now the Neogeo cores are the slowest thing that you will see on the Mister, and that is because there's such a huge ROM size. I've got mine set to NTSC. I've got the system type for MVS. This is a non-copyrighted, I believe, BIOS that works for either system. So let's go look here. World A through Z, and then what was that game? Neo. Oops. Neo Drift Out. So it flashes that core. There's the Neogeo BIOS. You know what I could do is I could unmute the TV. So I don't know that this looks much different than it looked in MAME, you know, especially with the screen shrunk down and everything else, you know. So I didn't set up the directories at all. There is a mine. Basically, what you do is just like a Raspberry Pi with RetroPie or something. You download an image that. Find the right buttons here. So as you can see, I mean, this basically looks, you know, kind of like what it did in MAME when we played it a few minutes ago. Again, I'm playing with this PS3 controller. You could use the analog stick. Look at that, I'm doing better, he says, as he smashes into a forest and goes the wrong way. Can I go home? I want to go home. No. And I've set the menu button on the PlayStation button there. So, but again, you have those your dip switch settings, anything like that, and then here you got your video settings, or you could go right into a core, and we could load a different core in if we wanted to jump to TurboGrafx. I think I copied over TurboGrafx ROMs. Let's take a look here. So there you go. So yeah, exactly. If you wanted to not work, do it live. It's kind of confusing because we're playing. Oh, I've played this before. You have to walk around and. You gotta get these guys kind of go in little patterns and stuff. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Anyway, so Dave, once you get once you get the basics of your card setup, there are these scripts that you can run. So let me go reset this, reboot. And so under your scripts folder here, there are these, actually if I run regular update, it should go really fast now because we just ran update all a second ago. But this will download and organize all those directories, all your arcade stuff. Now these should all say nothing to update because we just ran them a minute ago, but this does it for you. So all you got to do is, number one, you download. Now, most places are you buy a mist. If you buy a mister from a place that sells a mister versus just buying the board, if you just buy the board, you'll have to download the image and blow it onto an SD, on your PC or whatever. Blow that image on using one of those utilities, and then you put it in the mister and it should boot up. But once you've done that, then you run one of these updater scripts that come with it. It's on that image, or you can FTP stuff over to it. I mean, it is at a lowest level running Linux, some tiny thin version of Linux, and then it will go through and update and sort all of your ROMs, and it's really not hard. It's really not hard. Once I had everything figured out, like what plugs went where and whatnot. I wonder if there's any way to abort this since we just did it. No, there's a way to send garbage to the screen. Control C? No. Control break? Probably shouldn't try to break my mister. I'll just let this run for a minute. So anyway, yeah, the when you run the update, like all those ROMs, it sorts them all into the folders and stuff, and I just have mine hooked up. I don't. A lot of people get the little wireless dongle, but I've got a switch, a gigabit switch sitting right here. So I've just got mine plugged into the Ethernet. Same thing that all the machines in here are plugged into. So I just, like, when I was gonna move those Neogeo ROMs over or whatever, I just FTP them over and just drop and drag it through whatever FTP software you use, or you could pull the card out, shut it down, pull the card out, and put it in your PC with a little adapter. So all this stuff is it's all uploaded to GitHub. Okay, so what happens if it goes away is you have whatever the last version was. Which, if you want to know how that feels, I have an original mist sitting right over here that nobody updates anymore. So, if what you have is good enough at the time, then you're good to go. So, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, I don't know. Fortunately, unfortunately. Boy, I wish I remembered which of the three buttons did what on this stupid mister, instead of just randomly hitting them and hoping I get the right one. Well, that's one of them. I think that is the reboot button. So, these are guys, this is a community supported thing, right? Like, there are guys sitting at home tonight working on converting arcade ROMs over to this thing. So if those guys lose interest, then it won't ever go away off your mister, but there won't be any new stuff released for it. Now, the guy that's working on the PS1 core apparently this week or last week got a game to boot on it. So I think pretty soon we'll have PlayStation. But the limitation is how big of a core, can it store a ROM file. So I don't know that we'll be getting bigger than that. But anyway, so yeah, here's your arcade or your console stuff again. I think I copied over all my NES ROMs. By the way, that's how long it takes to flash a ROM right there. There are some things they've built in here, like slightly different palettes and stuff. In fact, if you listen to last week's version of ARG Presents, you know that Aaron and the Brent are playing bird games, and this is what the Brent picked, was Ducktales. I think this might be, can't tell, it might be a PAL ROM. It looked like it wasn't quite everything displayed there. That looks a little better. I've got this palette wave beam picked here, but there's real, and you can see how they're just slightly different. There's Nintendo custom. So you can tweak those to get the exact colors that you wanted. there's your other. If you wanted to remap your buttons, go through in your joystick, press right, left, down. You're doing that on this PlayStation controller. A, B, and then you just hit save. I don't want to rechange anything, so I'm going to hit escape out of that. But game start, and here's your Nintendo. So yeah, it's now again, you don't always have to go back to that menu if you want. From you can jump right into your cores, go to a different core. Again, I think Apple II. I really don't know why the 486 one isn't booting, because it booted last time I messed around with this, so maybe I've changed something. But there's that, and then again your arcade cores, and there are a lot of ported arcade cores. Oh, Rally X, Russian Attack. And so, you know, I think if, let's see what this looks like. Just curious if they put like a overlay on this. You know, it's funny about Ducktales, and I haven't written up my review for this yet, but the funny thing about Ducktales is that I'm old enough that I don't have any nostalgic connection to Ducktales. You know, I know a lot of people have that big nostalgic thing for that, but that was not my Saturday morning generation. You know, I think, of course, we were, you know, I mean, I was mid to late 80s kids, you know what I mean? So, or early to mid, I guess. I mean, by the time DuckTales was out, you know, I was in high school and had a job, so I wasn't watching DuckTales. But it's funny how I find this with Saturday morning cartoons. Man, just a year or two makes a big difference, you know. I mean, you'll find somebody that's super passionate about, I don't know, Smurfs or something like that, and then, you know, the next person just doesn't have any, no connection at all. And yeah, that's kind of how it is. And then there's a whole bunch of like late 80s, early 90s that I find very interesting, but I just don't remember. Karate Kid is one like that. But it's funny because like I like Mr. T, I like Punky Brewster, I like, you know, there. So just depends on what era you hit it on, I guess. So I certainly don't knock anybody else for what they like, because I like what I like, you know. We're not getting out of here until I beat first level Space Invaders. Come on now. Oh no, maybe I am. So anyway, yeah, that's I mean, that's the basics of the Mister. I will show you this real quick. I thought this was interesting. Let's reboot it. Let's see. Under other, these all came with the actual image, and so I'm assuming these are all copyright free. And they're all largely terrible. I mean, this chess game is not good. It's a super, super basic chess game or whatever. And why they included a port of Flappy Bird, I mean, I guess they got the rights to it or something, but look at me. That might be my world record for Flappy Bird. I'm not good at Flappy Bird, because it is a subset of games, and I'm not good at games. I mean, we've hit an all-time low of people are like watching me play Flappy Bird, but this is built into that little directory. So I guess, you know, before you get your if you know your emulators and stuff set up, you can check and make sure everything is working right, whatever you need to test. Again, I've got all this stuff mapped to the controller here as well, so I'm kind of tied up in cables. But if you hit, I've got it set for the power button here, or for the PlayStation button to bring up the menu. That sounds like Pinball Dreams. Is that what that is? Sounds like it. I've had the Mister for, gosh, a month and a half now. And you know, like I said, the thing about it is, hold on, here's what I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to physically turn it off. Okay, so I've turned power off. And you got to remember that there's a slight delay to OBS compared to the monitor. Okay, I'm going to count this down. 3, 2, 1, on. Okay, so I just turned on the Mister. All the lights just lit up. There you go. So that's how long it takes to boot. And then you could get, you know, right into your stuff here. I'm not going to play this, but I'm loading it for Aaron. I always love the look of this font, and you know, I just noticed that it's a kind of that orange color with a like a slight blue in the background, and I just realized that my entire Twitch thing is set up in that same color scheme, which was not intentional. Yeah, I like that guy. Let's see how this is set up. So yeah, I got to do some troubleshooting and figure out why I'm not getting audio over to OBS. So it shouldn't be a big deal. But I did notice that I definitely have a. Oh no, I'm gonna lie and say I'm the computer guy, and I didn't. Oh no! Oh! Oh! But it does look beautiful. I mean, I got it. You know, there's something, and I don't know. You know, I talked about this on the podcast. There could be mental. Maybe there's a placebo effect. Maybe there's something, but it does feel like it runs and looks better. Here's your old TV setting. Here's your scan doublers. Again, I'm trying to look and see how that looks on OBS. Okay, that. Okay, that seems like I would have to figure out how to counter that pretty quick if I'm going to play this much longer. Okay, that's not nice. But I will duck down and punch him in the butt. Haha! Oh no! Aha! Oh! No, no, no! Yay! I don't know if those scan lines look that great. You got your dip switches just like the arcade board. You can reset your buttons up if you got a different controller. You know, whatever you want to do. So anyway, that's kind of the gist of it. Like I said, reset the board. I went to reboot here. So we'll go over here to, let's reset everything else back up. Get back over in comfort mode. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. There's camera 1. So yeah, it's super easy to set up. I mean, mine, I probably paid $20 extra to get everything pre-assembled. So I literally had to plug in power. The SD card was already set up, so I turned it on. It booted up into that, and at that point, I enabled FTP and started dropping and dragging ROMs over there, and it was ready to go. So, yeah, pretty simple setup. I'm a dummy, and I got it working pretty easily, so I was happy about that. So, well, I think that's about it for me. I'm glad that somehow we have power during the entire stream. I'm glad that I will go check and see. I don't expect anybody's working on water. Oh, Steve, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Hey, is there anybody? If there's anybody here that's not following, and you know what? This is not a cheap ploy to get you to follow. You can unfollow me if you want to. I don't care. But I set up Dancing Mr. Moon Pie. So if somebody follows, Mr. Moon Pie should start dancing. It's actually the no. This is not follow, not subscribe, just follow. It's free. You just get notifications when I start going. But I've got I got that set up, and let me see if this works. Did some work. Let's see. These are emojis. I don't want their emojis. I want my emotes. I just got my emotes approved. There's Amigos emotes. Oh, look at this. We got brand new emotes. Look at these Mr. Moon Pies. He looks better. He's bigger and better. And we also got, what else did we get? Punching here. We're adding all kinds of stuff. Bits. And, we got, this is the, this looks like the skull from Danzig. And that's what it's called. I called it Danzig. This is the old login screen from my BBS from the 90s that I captured the ANSI and shrunk that down. It doesn't, it's hard to tell the details when it's that small, but that's what that is. There's another one I added somewhere, but it hadn't been approved yet. So, well, I don't, we'll go check. This is always, gotta try to mute Twitch before it opens up. There we go, we got that muted. And Amiga Live, everybody's offline. It's pretty late tonight. I don't see anybody online, so I don't think we'll be doing a raid. I think we'll just be heading off to bed. So thank you guys for dropping by. I gotta tell you, this was a excellent way to take my mind off of not having water, of going through rolling blackouts, of having my car snowed in so I can't get out of the driveway. Hey, you know what? Before we go, I just want to show you something real quick. If you haven't seen if you haven't seen this will be real quick. I'm digging these mod files. This is great. I used to, in the 90s when I was, or even the 80s, I guess. Well, probably 90s. Definitely when I was at college, though. This predates MP3s. I would get mods and just put them on shuffle. I had a mod player that would play things in shuffle, and it was awesome. I would just sit there and listen to mod files, which is what these are.
What are you doing?
Oh, hey!
Always keep your gun loaded.
A subscriber! You don't even need... Oh, my... Now you put me over here. Look at that, and Mr. Moon... And you got the Jack Flack quote. You got Mr. Moon Pie dancing. Oh, boy. Warms an old man's heart on a cold winter day. All right, let me show you a picture of my driveway. this over here. This is currently my driveway. As you can see, I tried to get some of the snow out from where this car is parked, but the snow drifts are halfway up the wheels of my truck, which is a problem. And then it's this is actually before the second round of snow, which we got another 7 inches on top of this. So now the snow is over the hood of this car, which unfortunately this car is keeping the truck from getting out of the driveway. And then in this lane, you go back about 10 feet and then the snow is at the same height as the bumper. So I can't get over that at all either. So that's, we're in Oklahoma City. I'm in Yukon, Oklahoma, which is right outside Oklahoma City. So that is, now here's another good photo. This was in today's blog. If you don't go to robohara.com. So this is a trash can full of snow so that I can, because the water plant is completely frozen. And oh yeah, Colorado Springs, man. I have friends that live in, of course, in Denver, and Rob Sherwin, Ice Cream Jonesy, lives in Denver, and I had a friend that lived in Castle Rock. Actually, Steel Rat lived in Castle Rock for a while. And anyway, this is a trash can full of snow. This is melting so that we can put it in the toilets and flush the toilets. And this is a shoebox full of snow that is melted, and I'm using to give water to the cats. We'll see how crafty we are here. And this is, let's see here. What else we got? A couple others here. This is all the extension cords that I was using for the generator. So I've got these lined up and ready to go on the bar. If power goes out again, I just have to drag the generator back out. And finally, this is a shot out the back door. Of course, about 2 weeks ago, we just started construction on a pool. So they are putting a pool in here, and now I wish it was done, because then it would be full of snow. Actually, I don't wish it was done, because I have a couple different friends that have swimming pools, and they're having to go out every couple hours and break all the ice so that it doesn't expand. And my friend's going out every couple hours, and he said he's getting like 2 and 3 inches of ice thick, and he's having to break it all out. So the other thing that's interesting is that if you can see here, this is about out my backyard. Like, this is my fence, and then there's a road here. And then Yukon is 5 miles this way. So between me and Yukon, there's nothing. But they're building construction slowly. And somewhere out in here, in this big area, are coyotes. And so at night, now also, this tree right here, there's an owl that comes and sits right here. And if you go outside and sit in the morning, there's an owl out here. Sometimes you can hear him at night. The more construction that they're doing, and they're starting to do some construction over here, they're pushing these coyotes this way. And so sometimes at night, over here, this is the movie room and hooks up to the workshop and everything. Well, so this is, it's an optical illusion, Curtis. What it is that, so my yard is at such a slope, so this whole thing is actually even with my porch. So this will be the top of the pool right here, and actually it goes down. There's kind of like a little ledge. It's hard to see, but this actually goes down 10 foot. This is going to be the shallow end over here. But yeah, so at night, over right where all these tree lines are in here, you can hear packs of coyotes. Now, coyotes don't want to have anything to do with people. They're all chicken. They'll run away from you. But yeah, so sometimes I go out here to the movie room at night and watch movies and come out, and then I run like a little scared kid. I'm like, whoop, 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 and I run up here because I could hear coyotes and stuff out there. So that is pretty much fun at the Flag household right now, is digging out of snow and all that fun stuff. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for showing up and coming and keeping me company during these cold times. I appreciate everybody coming in, and thank you, Snow Dog, for the subscription. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that, but it's very kind of you. And I'm supposed to put out an episode of You Don't Know Flack tomorrow, but I haven't started on it. So maybe I'll talk about winter and owls and snow owls and burrow owls and all sorts of stuff like that. So, man, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it, and I will be talking to you all soon. Thanks, guys.